Hi, welcome to another Pilates with Hana class. We're going to get straight into it. Standing today, it will chop the top of my head off, but you'll get the gist of it. So standing on the back end of our mat, feet are hip width apart and parallel. So that just means the outside edge of our foot is pointing straight ahead. We're going to start with a few deep breaths and a few shoulder rolls. As you breathe in, try to spread your ribs out as wide as you can. And then as you breathe out, drawing in and up from the bottom of your body. Beautiful. On your next breath out, you are going to drop your head, roll your neck forward, roll your shoulders up, back, ribs, lower back, and we come all the way down until we're just kind of dangling comfortably. You can have a soft bend in the knee here. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out. Start to tuck the tailbone first. So we're trying to draw up from the bottom of the body. And then we unravel our spine. Big breath in, reach up. Big breath out as we peel back down again. Helps to imagine that you've got your back stuck to a wall and you're trying to pull away from it gently. Coming down, taking a deep breath in, breathing out, bring the head back up. Good, speed it up a little now. Breath in, grow tall, breath out, roll down. And when we get to the bottom this time, hips stay over our legs. We're gonna walk our hands out on the mat into a nice front support or plank. And then we're going to walk back in and roll on up. So a knee bend, if necessary here, is great. On the way down, I might look a little bit like this, and then you can walk it out. Walk it in, warm the hamstrings up, warm the upper body up. We're going to stay down on our last one. So we're going to roll down, walk our hands forward, and then you can either step or jump the feet forward so that you can then sit down nice and flat. We're going to roll straight onto our backs here. In a nice, comfortable, neutral spine and neutral pelvis. A little gap behind the neck, little gap behind the lower back. And if you had your cup of water balanced right here on the lower belly, it would be even. We're just going to take a moment to drop our knees out to the side and back in, loosening up your hips. So one leg is going to stay still while the other one rolls out to the side. It doesn't matter if your pelvis is shifting slightly here, as long as you're not rolling all the way over onto your side. So depending on how flexible or how warmed up your legs are, it might just be a little tip or it might be all the way out. A couple more. Keeping those nice deep breaths in mind. And then we're going to start sliding the heel away from the body. Now we're trying to keep our pelvis nice and steady. So our whole core has turned on. You're going to lift the heel up and the knee. Pop it back down. Slide the foot away from you. Lift the leg. Pelvis stays heavy. So it's like your tailbone is an anchor. And it's just going to sit nice and heavy on the mat. Exhale that leg up. Inhale it back down. Slide the heel. So nothing's really moving except for that leg. We're going to reverse it. Kick the knee up. Extend the leg. Lower it down to the floor. Slide it in. The spine's not going to change. So as the leg goes away, the tendency is going to be to arch your back to follow the leg. Only go as far as you can without that back picking up off the mat. So ribs are nice and heavy as well as the pelvis. Last one here on the left leg. Good. And then I'm going to sweep my hands behind my head, lift my fingers, hold on just where my skull and my neck meet, and curl forward. In and down, out and up. Good. Again, that pelvis is still nice and heavy. It's going to sit right on the floor. as we curl our upper body towards it. It's a little easy. You can pick those legs up and down. Good. Then as you come up, it's not just the top abs that are moving, it's our whole core. So your pelvic floor, between your two sit bones, feels like it's drawing in and up, and like we're zipping up the front of the body. Good. On the next one, I'm going to curl towards a knee and down on an inhale. Curl towards the other knee and down on an inhale. It helps to squeeze your knees together, to engage your inner thighs and feel that travel up the center of your body. Good. One more to each side. Trying to keep those knees pointed straight at the roof. Good. And down. You're going to place your feet down. And then roll straight onto one side. Have the knees and hips on 90-degree angle each. Arms are out in front. If you need a cushion for your head, you can pause it and grab one. If not, we're going to stay where we are. You're just going to breathe in and open the arms out. Breathe out and close. Beautiful. So just twisting through that spine. The top shoulder may or may not reach the ground. Keeping the knees glued together again will give you a nice strong base to twist from. So if that top knee slides back, the pelvis will slide and you get less of a twist through the other side. Beautiful. One more. And we're actually going to leave that arm out and then pick the legs up, roll them over. It's never as graceful as I imagine it's going to be. Readjust those legs, arms out in front of the shoulders, and then switch to the other side. Good. So the pelvis stays facing away. Your head's going to look over at your head as you turn. Big breath as we open up. Squeeze the air out as the hands come back together. That's our second last one. And this is our last one here. Beautiful. We're going to roll, hopefully right back into the middle of our mat. And then you're going to roll up to sitting. It's okay if you use your hands a little bit. We are going to do some roll backs here. So, your first level is to hold on behind the knees. If that's too easy for you, you can take the hands up off the floor. We're going to breathe in to grow tall again right on those sit bones as we exhale. Tilt back from the pelvis first, the tailbone touches the mat. You're going to exhale as you roll to find a spot that's hard to hold. Inhale to hold it. Exhale, lead with the crown of the head so we curl forward. And then we unravel at the top. Breath in, breath out. We roll back, eyes look straight ahead. Bottom of the spine tucks under. We breathe in and hold. Shoulders away from your ears, breathe out. Curl up, unravel. We're going to roll back and hold this one. Pick a spot that you know you can hang on to for a while because we're going to be here for a little bit. From this position, if your hands are on your knees, you're going to hold on to the one knee and just let go and twist. If your hands are up, one hand's going to stay straight. We're going to reach open and tap. So you're kind of looking for the back corner of your mat, keeping the ab connection nice and deep. So again, if you need to hold something between your knees to get the inner thighs traveling up through your pelvic floor into those lower abs, you can. If not, just a little sensation of them kind of like magnetized, trying to draw together in the middle there. Feet are going to stay down on the mat. Last one. And back. We will roll forward. Unravel. Big breath in. Quick break. And then we exhale our way back. Down. Where we can hold it, we're not potting through the top abs. So everything feels like it's nicely wrapped up. Good. Ribs and hips are trying to meet at the front of your body, so a nice curl there. And you can breathe in as you reach and out as you close, or if that feels uncomfortable, it's more natural to go the other way, then feel free to breathe out and then breathe in as you close. Whatever works best for your body. Couple more. Last two. Last one. Roll forward, sit up straight. Making sure that you're in about the middle of your mat, so you've got somewhere to go. We're going to leave our legs out long, and then we're going to roll down to the mat. We're going to take your arms overhead. In this position, make sure your ribs kind of feel like melted into the mat as well, nice and heavy. So hands can either be on the floor if you can keep your ribs in, or if it causes you to arch up, then you just leave them overhead. We're going to sweep the arms around and breath in. Look forward for our feet. Breathe out to roll up and over our legs. Big breath in. Take up space. Exhale. Roll it down. Arms come over as we touch the mat. Breathe in as they come around. Breathe out as we roll up and over. Good. Trying to keep those legs firmly pressed into the mat, so heels down and together. Good. Big breath in. Big breath out. And instead of just hinging at the hips, we're trying to curl the whole way. So it's at one vertebra at a time. Easy does it. Nice and slow. Last one. We're going to exhale. Up. Inhale here. And then sit. Reach back and lean onto your elbows. Try and make sure that they're just under the shoulders. Hands can be facing in or down, wherever you're comfortable with them. We're going to do our abdominals today in this propped up position. So, picking one foot up at a time into our tabletop. This is our start position. We want to try and leave our body where it is, so no arching and rocking. As we extend, we're going to a single leg stretch. We've done this one before. So it's exhale to lower that leg. Inhale, exhale. Inhale through center, exhale out. And we're just going to switch and switch and switch. Good job. Leg reaches away. Looking at our alignment, we're actually in a really good position here to have a quick look. Is our ankle, knee, and hip in a straight line, or have we moved? You can pick up the pace if you need to. If it's too hard to hold up here and you're getting the shakes, you can either prop your back with a cushion or a ball, or you can just lay down into the normal position and pull that knee in as you reach the other one away. But if you can manage to hold it, do. Bring them both in, have a rest. We're going into the double leg stretch. Again, if you need to lay down or prop yourself, do so. We're going to inhale here, exhale those legs away. Inhale them back. Exhale them out. You'll feel yourself rock a little if those knees come in towards you. But as the legs reach away, you don't want your back to arch this way. So tuck the tail and hold on tight as you extend. Bring them back. Extend. Bring them back. Good job. Looking straight ahead if you can, wherever you've put your device that you're watching on. And rest in here. Double leg lowers. The beginning position is just going to be to tap those toes and bring them up. Tap and bring them up. The further the legs get away, so the longer the lever is, the more tempting it's going to be to let your back arch to go with those legs. I'm going to stay bent today. That's what I feel like I need. If you're feeling strong, go for it. Straight legs. Beautiful. That's it. Our whole core is working here. One more. Good. Let them just kind of rest for a quick second. Now we're going into a variation of our crisscross. So, as one knee comes in toward me, the opposite arm is going to reach out and then place it down. Again, you can go back to the normal one where hands are behind your head. You're laying more flat to the mat and you can twist towards. If we are ready, here we go. It's breathe out, in, out. In the back of my pelvis is flat on the mat and my upper body is twisting. Try and bring the bottom rib across to the top of my hip on the other side. The version on the mat would be to turn towards it with those hands up. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Back on those arms. 2, 1, bring it in. Pop your feet down. Have a rest. You can roll flat if you need to, or curl those knees in. Beautiful. I've rolled out of the way of the camera. I'm going to come back forward in for a spine stretch. So here you're trying to sit right up on your sitting bones again. You can prop yourself with a cushion, a yoga block, a book, whatever you happen to have. If you can't quite sit up straight, or just a soft bend in the knees. Head stacked on our shoulders, ribs, pelvis. Arms are out in front, or if you need a little support, they can be on your legs. We're going to breathe in. Breathe out. We're back to that imaginary wall again. And we're peeling away from it. Good. Reaching for the feet. Breath in here. Breath out. Unravel. Snap back to your wall. Breath in, grow tall. Out. Tilt the head first. Eyes go forward. There we go. Lovely. Really reaching with the ribs. Pelvis is reaching backwards. Exhale. Sit up. So if you're flexible, the tendency is just to lean from the hip. Whereas what we're looking for in the name of the exercise is a spine stretch. We're trying to stretch the spine out. If you think at the bottom of your spine, reaching for the wall behind you while the top reaches away, you'll get more of a stretch through it. And back up, let's do one more. Rolling forward. Big breath in, big breath out. Uncurl the spine. Perfect, we're going to cross our legs. You can stay facing forward. I'm going to turn side on so you get a better view. Arms are going to go out to the side in a T position. I breathe in to tilt, out to reach over. If you can drop the bottom arm, go for it. In to tilt, out to sit. Repeat to the other side. In, out, in, out. And again, if we're pretending that wall is behind us, your back is going to stay on your imaginary wall. You can actually use a real wall for it as well if you'd like to check. Some people like to lean forward and some back as they do this, but we want to go straight to the side, so it's just lateral, there's no rotation. If your elbow doesn't go all the way to the floor, that's okay. It's more important that both of our bottom bones stay, again, nice and heavy in the mat. Breathe in, breathe out, one more to each side. Breathe in until, breathe out. If you want to challenge yourself, try and sit back up without that hand. And it really has to be the sides of your waist. So again, core is helping us, but we've moved right into those obliques to pull us back up. Beautiful. Unraveling again. Legs are out straight in front of us for a saw. Now we are rotating and bending at the same time. So arms start out in our T position. We are going to inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, sit. Inhale, turn, exhale, down. Inhale, twist, exhale, turn. Good. If you have a bad back, be very gentle with this one. Rotation and flexion, so bending and twisting at the same time, can be dangerous, especially for spinal conditions. Also, if you happen to be pregnant, I would leave this one alone for now. Stretch it out, head looks where we're going. Beautiful. Legs come back together. Scoot down into the middle of your mat, and then we're going to lay back again. Beautiful. Getting comfortable, finding our neutral. Shoulders are nice and wide on the mat. Hips are heavy, you've got that little gap. Beautiful. We're going to exhale one leg at a time into our tabletop. Arms come up, straight above us. Going into a dead bug. So, this is one arm and the opposite leg reaching away, and then coming back to that start position. Again, without any change to the spine. So it's a nice challenge for your core muscles, your stabilizers, front, back, sides, a lot of it, to try and hold you still as those limbs move away from the middle of your body. Good. I like to inhale back and exhale forward. You find the breath that works for you so long as you've got an in and an out on each movement. Good. Reach away. Come back in. If it's too easy, feel free to chuck the legs up long as well. But don't let it make your pelvis roll back. You want to keep the back of it fully on the mat. Beautiful. One more of each. And then we're going to add to it to make it a little tougher. So this time it's my right leg and my left arm, go out. I'm going to add them on a slight diagonal. All of a sudden, it's going to get much, much harder not to want to roll to the side, especially to the leg side, because the weight of that limb wants to tip us over to the side that it's going to. And your core is working a lot harder. The further the limbs get from the midline of the body, so center line straight down the middle, the harder you have to work to stabilize and hold everything still. Beautiful. Out and in, out and in, feet down, hands down. Beautiful. We are going to roll ourselves back up. Pop your hands behind your bottom and lean back on a diagonal. Now, if it's too uncomfortable to have fingers forward, you can go out to the side or you can go completely back, but I recommend pointing the fingers to the front of the mat. You're going to lift your hips up and shift back so that you are over your arms. Then dip down and up, dip down and up. Beautiful. Just tricep dips. You can walk the feet in, make it a little harder. Right down. Try to keep your tailbone tucked under. If it's arched, you don't have very far to go. So I like to keep it under, and the elbows are shooting straight back for the back of the room. Good. Couple more. Just trying to heat those arms up a little. Keep your chest open at the front so we don't collapse through the body. 3, 2, 1. Leave your bottom down. Roll onto your side. In this position, I'm going to have one arm under my head. My hips and ribs are going to be in line with my head, and my waist is going to be the same length on each side. That just means that I'm not sinking one hip up towards my rib. I don't know how well you can see that. And then I'm in like a fetal position. So not my normal 90-90. My heels are in line with my bottom at the back as well. Top hand's just going to rest on the floor. For the first one, my legs are going to stay parallel, and I'm lifting both my ankle and my knee at the same time, straight out of that hip joint. Good. Up and down. You can see that your hip doesn't come any closer to your rib. So if you go too high, it'll crunch in. Just want it to lift lower. You can feel free to put that top hand on your hip. Make sure it's not coming any closer to your ribs. Beautiful. From there, we leave the knee down, pick the foot up. So my leg has internally rotated. It's facing inwards now. I'm just going to lift and lower again. In that same position, trying to keep everything still except that leg. Remembering to breathe. Good, 2 more. Beautiful. Leaving the knee down, picking up the bottom foot to match the top foot. I'm now going to open and close for 8. So it's 8, 7. Exhale as you go up. 6. Inhale as you come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to add on to this same position. So open the leg, extend it, bring the heels together, close. Open, kick, heels together, close. That's 2. Beautiful. We're going back for 8 as well. That's 3, 4. Keep breathing. Keep the waist away from the floor. Lovely. 2 to go. That's 7. Ooh. That's 8. Knees together, feet down. One more before we switch sides. Finding that mat again. So it's a combination of two things we've just done. It's going to be tap the knees, tap the heels. So internally rotate, externally rotate. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hold everything still. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Knees down. You can roll onto your back and stretch out that glute. It's just been working. So cross your ankle over your knee and pull it. Beautiful. A few deep breaths. As you exhale, just try to imagine that muscle relaxing, see if you can get it to let go. And then we're going to spin onto our other side and repeat the sequence. So finding a nice side lying position first. Head's resting on our arm. Hips are stacked. A little gap here if your waist is shaped that way. And then top hand can either rest on the floor on your hip. We start with lifts and lowers. Parallel, so both the knee and the ankle are lifting evenly. Good. We pick up the foot, leave the knee, and we lift lower for 8 more. Good. 5, 4, 3. Keep an eye on that hip. 2 and 1. Leave the knee, pick up the bottom foot. Open, close. Good. And you might find that the supporting leg, the bottom leg now, still burning. That's normal. If you're going to repeat this again, make sure you switch and use the other leg to start with. We're going to go open, extend, in and down. Good. 2. You don't realize how much that bottom leg is working until you roll over and repeat this on the other side. That's half. We'll do 4 more. Open, close, that's 5. Open, close, that's 6. Keep breathing. The shakes are starting. And 8. Beautiful. Relax the legs down. Keep the waist lifted. Keep the hips long. And we go in, out, in, out. That's 2. And 3. And 4. Keep the hips still. And 5. Have a look down if you need to. 6, 7. Last one. 8. Back together. Roll over. Cross the knee over the ankle or ankle over the knee. And take a few deep breaths to try and relax that muscle there. Well done, that's a tough sequence. We're going to move over onto our stomachs now. If you need more of a stretch, feel free to pause. If not, we will keep going. So starting with our head down, hover it if you need to, or grab yourself a cushion. Elbows are out directly from our shoulders, and hands are stacked right above our elbows. So we've got a little cactus position or goalpost, whatever you want to call this one. We're going to work on our rotator cuffs first. So relaxing the body. All we're doing is exhaling to lift our hands off the floor. Inhaling to put them down. Elbows stay planted. So we're working the little rotator cuff muscles on the back of our shoulders in this position. It'll work pretty hard to pick the hand up, leaving it in good alignment with the elbows so don't flexing at the wrist. Beautiful. Exhale it up, big squeeze. Inhale it down. Good. You'll probably feel it slightly more on one side than the other. Last one. And down. Leaving arms in the position they are in. Gently pressing the pubic bone to the front of your pelvis into the floor. And drawing the front of your body up away from the floor if we can. We're going to inhale to lift up. Exhale to come down. We want this to be an upper back movement more so than a lower back, which is why we pull our abs away from the floor and press our pubic bone down to give our lower back a break and hold it still while we lift and lower. Inhale up, just looking at the front of your mat. Exhale down. Nice smooth line in the back of the body. And down, good. That's it. So trying to reverse all the looking down and looking forward we do during the day. Back of your head kind of feels like it's pushing up against something behind it, not forcefully, but just a gentle lift. There's plenty of work going on in the back of the shoulders. And then lowering ourselves down. Beautiful. We're going to try a little bit of muscular endurance here, so see if we can hold our back up without the lower back kicking in. Feet are going to stay nice and flat on the floor. We're going to come up, and from here, just looking slightly in front of your mat, you're going to reach hands forward, pull the elbows back. Reach the hands forward, pull the elbows back. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, extend. Breathe in, reach. And back. Draw those elbows in. Good, pubic bone down, abs up. We don't have to be too high. It's just a little hover. Good, 3. Beautiful, 2. And 1. Lower the body down. And relax. Beautiful. You can fold the hands, pop them under your forehead, and then just exhale, let the upper body relax. We're going to work with the lower body now. So, again, keeping that pubic bone pressed into the mat, so we're not arching our back up. You're going to lift one leg and reach it away from you, like you're trying to get your toes to the wall behind you. Lower it down. Reach the other one. Lower it down. Knees stay straight the whole time. Try and keep your foot and knee facing the floor as well. You get a different feeling if the foot is turned out. It goes more into the side of the hip, whereas if you can keep that leg parallel or even slightly turned in just to make sure you're not doing anything funky with it, it's going to come right up the hamstring and into the glute max, so the big muscle that helps extend our leg. Good, if that's feeling strong and you can keep the pubic bone pressed down, you can start to alternate and one foot doesn't have to be touching the floor the whole time. If that still feels good and we're nice and relaxed, we can go for a little swing with those legs. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. In and out. Keep those legs in and out. Beautiful, in and out. Put them back down. Hands slide under our shoulder and we press back into a rest position. So we're sitting on our heels, reaching right forward, stretching that whole back out. We're going to move from this position through a plank into a nice stretch in the front of our body, a cobra. You have 2 options for this one. If you're not feeling confident on your toes yet, you can stay on the knees. Keep the toes tucked under, and from this position here, come into your plank and then lower, pop up and then put the knees down. Otherwise, we're going to keep the knees hovered off the floor the whole time. It's a lot more work. Up to you. You can choose. Start with the easy one and work your way up, or start with the more difficult one, and when it gets too much, you can drop back down. So, I'm going to have my knees hovered off. I've got my toes tucked right under. Give yourself a stretch of the bottom of the foot. Hands are right forward. We're in our crouch here. Bottom's just up our heels. We're going to shoot forward into a plank position. Move those hands if you need to. And then gently dropping the hips and unraveling the front of the body, looking just slightly up. Come back, press through, shoot forward, unravel, making sure we're not dumping into the lower back. I'm not crashing into my spine. My abs are actually working really hard, even though they're stretched out. Unravel. Good. Come back. Crouch. Push through. Unravel. Feel that spine moving up. Beautiful. Press back. Forward. Glutes are working hard as well to support the lower back. So glutes are on, abs are on. Legs are probably fired up by now. Open the chest up, spread those collarbones wide. Forward, drop the hips gently, open the chest, look up. Back to plank, push back, put the knees down and sit down for a rest. Well done. Almost there. You come onto our knees. If you don't have a thick mat and the floor underneath you is quite hard, you might want to grab a cushion or a rolled up towel, something just to protect the knee bones. If you're all right on the mat that you're on, we will keep going. So, knees now are right under our hips. We're in a high kneeling. If I look back, my feet are right in line with my knees. I'm going to take my hands out in front of me. Palms are facing down. Taking a big breath in. I'm going to reach tall and prepare. I am going to exhale, keep my tailbone tucked under so my back is nice and flat to the point where I feel a nice stretch in the front of my thighs, and then push back forward. Let's change that up. We're going to inhale back. This part's actually easier to a spot that's difficult to hold, and then we're going to push ourselves forward. I'm going to keep my eyes straight forward, looking at the wall in front of me. Inhale back. Exhale up. Notice that my arms stay on the same plane here. Like they're sliding along the shelf. Glutes are working hard to support me as well. Hamstrings are on. Tops of my feet are pressing into the floor. And back. Good. Couple more. Let's do our last one. Flat as you can. Hold and come back. Beautiful. Now, core up nice and tall. Abs are on, pelvis is tucked. Without tipping forward, I'm going to reach my foot up and pop it back down. Reach my foot up, pop it back down. Try not to sway my upper body here. Good. Arms out in front of you if you need a little counterbalance. So this is right in here in the hamstring. The knee stays down. The foot picks up. Feeling pretty strong. Or even if you just want to play, have some fun, test yourself. Get your hands ready in case you're going to tip forward, or rest them on a chair. You can pick both feet up and put them back down. Both feet up, whoa, and put them back down. Good. Hold them at the front. If you're going to tip, catch yourself gently and then press back up. Let's do a few more. If you're not quite ready for both feet, one at a time is fine, and down. Good. Ooh. That'll do it. From here, I'm going to do a little bit of standing footwork to finish. So, again, cutting my head off, sorry, but the most important thing is the legs. We've done this one before. Feet are just a little wider than hip width to give us a nice wide base here. Parallel again, or slightly turn down if that's where you're more comfortable. We are going to come down into a squat. Lift up onto our toes. Stand up on our toes. Put our heels down. Beautiful. So squat, toes, raise, up. Try to keep your body fairly upright and not thrust the ribs forward. So it's not as deep of a squat as you'd normally do if you're at the gym. You're trying to keep your body fairly upright and your ribs fairly tucked in. If this is too easy for you, go ahead and shut your eyes. That'll change everything. That proprioception is gone. You've got to work a lot harder when you're on your toes with your eyes shut. Good. Up and down. Well done. Squat, toes, up, down. Let's reverse it. So toes first. We're going to come down, knees over toes, then drop the heels, then stand. Come up, down, drop the heels, and stand. Up, down, doing good, heels, and stand. Beautiful. My arms are out in front of me for a little bit of balance. You can leave them by your sides. It's harder. Or you can pop them behind your head. And press your head into your hands a little bit to keep the back of your body fired up as well. Wherever you're comfortable. Last one up, down, heels, and stand. Beautiful. Let's cool off. So, we're going to step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and then we're just going to lunge into that front leg. Back heel's going to lift off, so we can tuck our pelvis under to get that hamstring, the hip flexor stretched out. Hamstring next. So really tucking under. You can reach the arm on this side, on the back leg side, up and away. And tip over like you're doing your side reach to get it right in here. You're going to lower the back heel, lift the front toes, and keeping your hips in line, start to reach down. If you're really flexible, you might be folded in half. If you're like me and you find those hamstrings a little tight, this is tough. Trying to keep our hips here in line as well, so if you find that you're spinning open, drag the heel back, keep both hips pointing straight ahead. If you're going to lean on one of your legs, lean on the bent one so that you're not hyperextending the straight leg. Good. Step it up, switch legs. Hip flexor first, so we're back in our wide triangle. Bottom is tucked under. Hip flexor is opening up on the front of that leg. And slow out breathing down. Beautiful. And make sure your arm up and over if you need a little more. Still a balance challenge, even as we cool off. Good. And setting the back heel down, picking the front toes up. As we lean forward, you'll see me drag that heel back so my hips align up. This side's a little better. If you need more, you can reach down and pull that foot back, or you can start to tip your body onto your legs. Couple of deep breaths. Good. I'm just going to step my feet together and stand back up. I'm going to finish with the roll down that we started with. Feel free to use a wall if you've got one to actually pull your spine away from so you can feel that articulation. Feet are under our hips in parallel. We breathe in. Stand tall, breathe out. Peel forward. And articulate. Up and over. Try to keep your hips over your knees the whole time. Up and over. Exhale at the bottom. Big breath in. Big breath out. Using your abs to pull you back up. Unravel, unravel, unravel. Good, breath in. Reach up, one more. Roll it down. Each bone at a time. Okay, you can ragdoll a little at the bottom. Roll your head out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And come back up. Roll our shoulders a few times. And that's it. We're done. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next time.